Welcome to Thriving Tribesmen podcast. My name is Kuri, your host, and I'm excited to be making this episode. Last week was very, very good, guys. Thank you very much for requesting access to join the Facebook group. Unfortunately, I couldn't get you all in because the link hasn't been sorted out. There's a few things I need to finish before the course is ready. So I didn't want to just get you guys in there and then there'll be crickets, because that would be not cool. But I also wanted to, for that, when you guys join, you have content, so you can start really consuming this content. And when you start consuming this content, I wanted you also to have, if I'll also come and then do some Facebook lives, so I can teach some concepts, the ones that I've not been able to teach over the podcast or through Instagram, because there's some important lessons that will get you the results quickly. At the same time, I also wanted to do like a Q&A type thing, because some of you guys, you think you are alone when you're having situations, and sometimes you just want to speak to somebody. You don't want to be spoken at, somebody to speak at you. You want to have that dialogue, and I wanted to invite you guys to have those sort of Q&A answers. So you can ask you a question, and you could be asking for a friend if you want to. So you can ask for a friend, and then I'll answer. So it's beneficial for the community. So, and what it is just trying to create a database of questions and answers, so that whenever you feel stuck at something and nobody is available and there's nothing, at least that question would be a hashtag within the group, and then you can just type in the search, and then it should come up, and then you should have an answer, at least have an answer of that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm going to make it really could build your content sort of almost like a database of questions and answers, but also there'll be hashtags so it's easy to find. So there's some ideas regarding how we're going to be dealing with the Facebook group. So that's the reason why I just sort of held off letting you guys in. So hopefully Sunday is the day when I'll be ready to get you guys in, then we can do some Facebook lives. Wednesday I'll need to do a Q&A, and it's going to be pretty much all day. I'll just get you guys to tell me when you're ready, and then I'll give to Facebook Live. If you want to join me, then ask the questions. You can ask the questions, then we can do that. And I know that there's quite a few people from places like Australia. There's people in Europe. There's people in America. So it means that I'm just leaving my calendar completely blank, moved everything else. So that Wednesday, pretty much. I'll be on for the next sort of 16 hours. So I'm really, really excited about it. So, but anyways, today I wanted to talk about resilience within a relationship and how that is important. The difference between having resilience and not having resilience is the factor that makes you go for a long period of time in a sexless relationship or cut it very short. So most of you guys, I think a large percentage, I'm beginning to believe a large percentage of you guys who are in a sexless relationship for a long period of time, you've been in a long period of time because this was the thing that was lacking. What I mean by that is that most people, when it comes to the rejection, especially sexually, and you have to consider that with the moments leading up to the rejection, generally it's all caused by the fact that within a relationship, we evolve over time and everything is always changing. So, for example, it's only a few months till my youngest leaves primary school. So in the UK, we call it primary school, but junior school, if you think about it. So she's about to leave that. And as a parent now, she's going to be with other teens that are a little bit older, which means that she's going to evolve, she's going to change. She's now transitioning from being a girl to a woman. So, soon enough we'll be dealing with things like periods and so on. Anyways, my point being that there's this evolution within my child that was going to obviously affect me as a parent. And so, which means that me as a person, as a parent, when she was a baby, compared to the parent I am right now, there has been some transitions that have gone on. And with each transition, it also affects your relationship, because with its transition, it requires your relationship to adapt to what's going on and change. Now, these transitions, not just children, it could be work, it could be promotion, there's so many things that are contributing factors for your relationship to have some sort of mismatch sexually. intimacy, there's so many places where it becomes a mismatch, and then your relationship feels like there's a dip, which is completely normal and will happen even in my relationship. I have these cycles at least once every sort of 10, 15 weeks. There will be this sort of dip within the relationship where I want my own space, she wants her own space, and then we sort of figure it out. And part of the figuring out is that resilience, that when I stretch out my arm wanting to seduce her and she says no, I don't blame it on myself. I don't start self-destructing. I don't feel like this is the end of the world, because a lot of it is tied into self-esteem. And for me, I was very, very low on my self-esteem, and I went out to become a very good pickup artist based off low self-esteem. It was just me trying to build my self-esteem, and the whole sex thing and really sleeping with a lot of women was just me trying to build my self-esteem. And now you transition into a marriage, all those sort of traumas, everything that was contributing to my low self-esteem started coming out to the fore. And every time they always came out when we had these dips within the relationship. She would probably feel the dip, she would get a bit nervous, and her reaction to being nervous, my wife, her reaction to being nervous was to protect herself. And sometimes that meant she would verbally say things that were unkind, not because she's mean, but that's just how she reacts to things. And I would react to it in a bad way that was terrible, because that would be quite triggering for me. So we had this really weird effect where we'd not dealt with our childhood traumas, and whenever there was a dip within the relationship, it would cause this thing. And then my reaction to it initially was pretty wrong. So I would not be resilient. I would be triggered, and because I'm triggered, my self-esteem, I would start crucifying myself with this terrible thing that's going on. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm so terrible, I'm so dumb, and I'm so all those things that I feel about myself. In fact, I'll just transition to this. The most important communication within a relationship isn't the communication between you and your partner. It's the communication that you have about yourself. So the way you talk about yourself within life is very important, and that self-talk, when you have that rejection, can be so destructive that it then starts eroding your confidence. When it removes your confidence, then you become unattractive, because your attractive currency is dependent on your confidence. So as long as you have confidence, then your attraction is pretty high. You can easily attract your partner. And generally, most guys, because they lack the resilience, when their self-image is under attack, and this is again it's your thoughts telling you that your self-image is under attack. So who you are as a person is under attack, when then your self-esteem is like, oh my God, this person is so cruel to me, and they're being cruel to me, they don't want me, they don't love me, and so on. And you go into this weird cycle where you get rejected, you then lose confidence, you become unattractive, and then this cycle continues every time you try to reach out so you can have some seduction. And again, this doesn't make it any easier when you then sit them down and then try and talk about it, because now you're trying to attack that self-image again, which is rooted into their self-esteem. And then all of a sudden they seem like they're feeling under attack when you tell them that their relationship is not going well because you're not having enough sex within the relationship, and that they need to fix it. And this is the reason why talking about it doesn't work. So if you are talking about having more sex within a relationship and sitting down your partner, it's the worst idea you can ever do. It's probably going to make it 10 times worse, because two things will happen. She will either want to have sex with you, she will feel obligated to have sex with you, which is terrible. I think I would rather not have sex for 100 years, if I could believe that, than for a woman to feel obligated. And the second one is that she just feels so horrible about the relationship and the contribution that she then tries to find fault in you so that she can remove herself from the blame of the situation. So it's very, very important that when you start building resiliency, and I think I'm going to start wrapping up now, building resiliency has to do with the inputs that you put every single day. Now, I've been pretty weak the past 2 months in terms of training, in terms of my diet. That's been pretty weak. Those are my inputs. And because I've been weak, I find myself chasing. Because I was looking at this last week. I was like, why am I chasing consistently? I'm not consistent with my podcasting. I'm not consistent with this. What is going on? And I started realizing that my inputs are lacking. And then that's knocking with my self-image, that's knocking with my self-esteem, that's knocking on my confidence. There's this weird groove I'm at. And I'm transparent with you because I think it's most people try and make it seem that everything is together when you see them on Instagram and their coaching and so on. I'm willing to tell you that I struggle as much as everyone. And if my inputs are not right, my progress is not right. So even we're still sexually active with my partner, so there's certain parts of it where I'm doing and I'm gaining some momentum. In some places I'm not gaining momentum, or at least I'm losing momentum. So I think it's sort of equaling itself, and I'm just at a sort of a steady pace. But I would like to increase that, and that means that the way I eat, the way I sleep, training, those are the things I can control and focus on. And those are the things that start building momentum and start really building that self-esteem that you lack. Because a lot of it is to do with making those decisions early in the morning. I'm going to go and train. I'm going to eat well. And as you do them continuously over a period of time, that builds your confidence. Now, most guys, they struggle with this. And when I say most guys, that's me included. I struggle with this. But it's a very vital thing. I'm not saying don't drink. I'm not saying don't eat junk food or whatever. But what I'm saying is that especially if you're in a sexless relationship and things have gone really stale for a long period of time, the only thing you can start changing is the way you eat, the way you train, all of those things. And somebody will turn around and say, I'm already doing that. And well done if you are already doing that. There's other things that you can add to it. Now, for me, the training and eating is very important, but just as more so my reading time. So I've got time that I set aside for reading, then I've also got time I set aside for my meditation, then I've also got time. So there's these bits that I do, and I call them inputs, that are very important, that then build within my self-esteem. And as that builds into my self-esteem, it builds my confidence about how I do my business in life or just react in life. And then she feels attracted to me. Now, the amazing part about doing all of this, it means that it is a built-in scarcity that builds attraction to her, or at least spikes attraction to her. Because right now, all attention is on trying to get sex from this woman, and she feels it. And it's a burden for her because she feels this obligation or sense of obligation to have sex with you that you're imposing onto her. And when you can remove that, it gives a space for her to get involved within the attraction and seduction. Because right now, she only has to say yes for you to have sex with her. Whereas if you are already in momentum doing your own inputs, it's not enough for her to say yes. She has to provide a little bit more. And when she can be active within the seduction, it actually helps you, have an incredible experience, especially for her, because she's been involved in it. And this built-in part of her where she's involved in it actually helps with the satisfaction and the excitement of her returning again into this sex act. So hopefully that's really powerful for you guys in terms of really how self-esteem works and how that can really disrupt your confidence and then disrupt you feeling attractive, or at least your partner seeing you attractive. And again, like I said, on Wednesday between Monday and Wednesday we'll be having Facebook Lives, and I want to go in deeper with this because again, your self-image and the way you see your self-esteem is very, very important, because a lot of you guys have chosen your partners based off your self-esteem and based on the trauma that you've had, you've also chosen your partner with that. And that partner that you've chosen them because they have potential to re-traumatize you. And it's just a weird thing that I was speaking to a client recently, and we're talking about re-traumatization through the partner, and why most people choose those type of people, because they feel that they're going to fulfill a need, but really over a period of time it's just a grind, and then you're both very, very unhappy and very miserable within the relationship. So, and again, she chooses the same. So she chooses somebody who she thinks is going to be excellent based off her trauma and how she is. And again, doesn't mean that you cannot fix it. You can fix it. But it's very important to understand this. And I think on Monday or Tuesday, we're going to be talking about this, because this is going to be a game changer for many of you guys, because it takes you way back onto the way you selected your partner. And then you realize that when you selected your partner, you're using faulty mechanisms, and those faulty mechanisms have now led you to this point where you are right now. So it's very, very important lesson that we're going to be talking about. Hopefully you guys will be there. So I'm really excited for you guys to come to the Facebook group. The Facebook group is Thriving Tribesmen, and when you search it, it's going to have the same logo as what we've got on the podcast. So my tribesmen, it's going to be so good. We'll really just getting you guys from sexless relationship to sexual success, and as well as just build those habits and that are going to be making you attractive to be that person that she craves. So thank you very much for listening. I'll be seeing you guys soon. Take care.